Coming up on this season of Before Brunch.
Look, y'all, we get to like throw it back and have some flashbacks and dream about those days. So talk about like what your life was like in your 20s.
I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna turn up, I'm gonna be live, but I want good people around me. I want people like me who are gonna be down for me.
You have a dream of what you want to do, and then you go into school and you study for it, and then you come out of school and you realize it doesn't matter.
Like I can go and say, okay, these are the people that I interact with, and we're not perfect. We're supposed to tell messy stories. Like the Bible is messy.
I'll go from here to there to there, and I'm just like, damn, I didn't get anything done, you know? So talk about like what that discipline is like as a creative.
I don't get a day off because even when I'm not in front of a computer, like even when you're not teaching choreography, you're thinking, every time you hear a song, you immediately say, what move can I do to this beat?
But nobody has a problem with the choir director.
Come on here, listen.
Twirling around the pulpit, you know what I mean? Because music sound good.
Right.
I'm not saying that all choir directors like that, but I'm just saying there's a stereotype.
Right.
And they have no problem with that, but as soon as he wants to bring his boyfriend or husband to show, no, you need to leave.
I was in the deepness of my depression. And there's a picture that comes up in Facebook memories. And I shared it with her. And I said, you remember this picture? When I tell you it took everything in me to come to that party.
Living with a large ego, a chip on my shoulder, and calling that confidence. It was a lot of those things that I felt like were barriers, and it really was just a mental thing.
You can't even tackle your feelings, and then other things arise because you can't tackle your feelings.
I think it's only pressure if you pick the wrong partner. I think it's a pleasure if you pick the right partner.
My life just felt like everything was coming together. Everything that I had dreamed of, all of the trauma that I had been through, it just seemed like, wow, I'm finally happy.
You grieve what your childhood could have looked like. You grieve what your marriage could have looked like. But really, was it your expectations of what that should look like?
Being under 40, and you wouldn't assume that this is the face of a widow.
Here we are now, like crumbling on the inside because we feel like, oh, we got to keep it at home. We can't share our stories.
There are people who are who's still working, but people don't realize that just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're not working.
It's one thing to know that that you're worthy, but it's a whole other thing to realize that you've been worthy and start acting accordingly.
So I can't preach about liberation for Black people, but then I show bias or treat people who are LGBTQ a certain type of way. And so I really had to unlearn some things, and that was very eye-opening for me.
But I'm like, look, if you can use your celebrity to free people.
Oh yeah, I've stuck up for Kim Kardashian plenty of times, you know, because people are quick to throw your past in and try and mingle it in with the good that you've done.
Yeah.
Right. I always say, you know, don't judge somebody with things that you used to do.
Do you ladies think that this coexists, or that they're the same? Because some people they look at this as a religious practice.
The universal consciousness field consists of a lot of different beliefs. And beliefs are really just very strongly held opinions.
But what makes you as an individual like stand out in that space?
I don't look to influence, I look to inspire.
When ideas come to your mind, you're like, can this happen? Can this be done? And so I've only found like one other person like in the world who does this.
Some days I feel like I'm killing it and I'm like, yes, girl. And then some days I'm like, you just need to lay down and just try again tomorrow.
When we made the decision to try again, it was a faith walk, and I went to a different fertility clinic. I got a really good feel, and here we are with triplets.
You could miscarry, you can have a failed adoption, and they're not the same, but plans can still be interrupted, whether you are having a physical birth or going through a surrogacy or doing an adoption.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that perspective.
So I didn't want to be looked at like that. So I had to make that conscious decision every day that I'm sure men don't have to do, just to feel like I would be respected, by my work and what I'm saying.
I really feel that kind of surrounding myself with people who I trust and who I see grow helps me grow.
When you know you've been called to do something else, it's not exciting. Now you're walking in your purpose.
Exactly.
That's totally different.